Welcome back, viewers. There has been a big escalation in the Middle East crisis. This morning, Israel launched airstrikes on what it described as military targets in Iran. Israel says these strikes were response to months of continuous attacks by the Iranian regime. This entire operation was code-named Operation Days of Repentance. It saw Israel fire at Israel 3 rounds of strikes over the Iranian capital Tehran and the surrounding areas. Immediately after the strikes, the Israeli military spokesperson, that's Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, issued a statement confirming that manufacturing facilities as well as Iran's aerial capabilities were struck in the strikes. He also added that these strikes have now given Israel broader aerial freedom of operation also in Iran. Listen in.
In response to months of continuous attacks from the regime in Iran against the State of Israel, right now, the Israel Defense Forces is conducting precise strikes on military targets in Iran. The regime in Iran and its proxies in the region have been relentlessly attacking Israel since October 7th on 7 fronts, including direct attacks from Iranian soil. Like every other sovereign country in the world, the State of Israel has the right and the duty to respond. Our defensive and offensive capabilities are fully mobilized. We will do whatever necessary to defend the State of Israel and the people of Israel.
Israeli Defense Forces have also confirmed that an Israeli attack has targeted now several military bases in Tehran and other cities. So what really did Israel say, basically, viewers? Now, Israel had hit back at Tehran. This was in retaliation to the attacks. And now what we have at the moment is Iran's statement. They have vowed revenge after these attacks. Now, that's the statement coming in. This is a statement which is issued by the Iranian state agencies. Iran is prepared to counter aggression. That's the statement which has been issued. A provocative statement, as many would say, after Israel's attack. Also, they say that the quote-unquote fake regime has attacked the military centers. In fact, Iran, we know, has been downplaying these attacks as well. Iran, in this statement which has they have issued, said that areas in Tehran and nearby areas have been struck as well. Again, these are statements which are issued by the Iranian state agencies, going on to say that Israel will face a proportionate reaction. So would it mean escalation? That's something we'll have to wait and watch. And what it really eventually transpires to Israel, they say, will pay a heavy price for escalation. So that's the statement which has been issued by the Iranian state agencies. What do we know at the moment? What do we know about this operation itself? Because these are, details, viewers, which we are giving you details. We are breaking down according, obviously, to the IDF. Now, this is what the IDF basically says, and this is also what we know so far. Israel has launched now precise strikes on Israel, on Iran, apologies, that's what they say. Israel has basically struck military targets in Iran. That's a statement according to IDF, saying that, it is a limited strike at a military location, saying that multiple explosions, had been heard and reported in Tehran. All of this, obviously, initial statement which had been issued by the IDF, also saying that the strikes were carried out in 3 different waves. That's what, IDF basically says, that the strikes were carried out in 3 waves, and it was at least 100 fighter jets which had carried out these strikes. So that's the statement. Also, they say how many locations target? 20 locations, more than 20 locations targeted in 3 provinces. This is what the IDF had to say. Now, was the world reacting? What are the other reactions which are coming in? How is the, US reacting to it? What do they have to say? Which are the statements which have been issued by the US? Now, America's message to Iran. What's the US saying? They had anyway said that they had monitored the situation closely. They're saying that Iran basically needs to break this cyclone of fighting, the cycle rather of fighting. They need to break the cycle of violence. That's a tough message coming from the side of the US to Iran. When we speak about, America's message, it's a very direct and clear message, viewers. which has been given to Iran by the US. Now, the US has issued a statement urging Iran to stop attacking Israel to break the so-called cycle of violence. This is a statement which has been given by the US National Security Council spokesperson. Talking about the statement, it says that Israeli strikes are basically an exercise in self-defense. Israeli strikes are basically, they had avoided populated areas. These are, attacks where certain areas were targeted, which were military bases. US did not participate in this particular operation. So that's the statement which has been given by the US. Pradeep Datta, my colleague, is joining us live on the broadcast. Pradeep, we are keeping a close eye on all the developments coming in related to the escalation in the Middle Eastern tensions. Israel obviously retaliating, striking Iran. Iran also has issued a statement. US basically now issuing a statement and saying that they did not participate in it, but obviously backing Israel, saying that Israel's attack was an exercise in self-defense.
Yes, you rightly said that US is backing Israel at this stage and saying that this was an attack in self-defense, and now they are telling Iran not to resort for tit-for-tat attack, because if they will resort for tit-for-tat attack, that way they will not be able to break the cycle of violence. So it's up to the Iran to ensure that there is no more, the vicious cycle of violence should not continue. In fact, they are trying to say, put the ball in Iran's court, that if you will not retaliate, the things will be better in the coming days. There can be a possibility of ceasefire. Because why Israel acted? Because it was on October 1st, Iran had carried out attack. They had fired barrage of projectiles and ballistic missiles targeting Israel, though 99% of those missiles were intercepted and neutralized by Iron Dome system, that aerial defense system that has been installed there by United States of America, and because of that they were intercepted. But some of those missiles were able to penetrate from the Israeli airspace and hit some of those areas, and that's one of the reasons. From that day, the Israel had vowed to target Iran, and finally it took them 25 days, because first their strategy was to weaken Hezbollah, one of the proxies of Iran, and also to weaken Hamas. We have seen that how Hassan Nasrallah was killed, his successors were also eliminated, and same way Yahya Sinwar was also neutralized in Gaza. It was only after weakening them they tried to gather more information, intelligence inputs, and finally within 25 days they have carried out attack. Today morning the people in Iran did not have the greetings from the normal hum of the city. Basically it was the explosion sound that reverberated the strategic landscape of Iran. As you rightly said, for 100 fighter jets, which included F-15 and F-16, they targeted 3 provinces, 20 locations were targeted. What Israel claims, those all are military locations. But as usual, Iran is claiming that there had been limited damage to it, but they have also vowed to take revenge, that they are also going to retaliate, because earlier also they had given a statement that in case of any kind of attack from the Israeli side, they are going to retaliate strongly. Now all eyes will be on Iran. What will be the Iran's reaction? Because so far as this attack is concerned, already everybody knew from day one that Israel is going to target Iran, and Iran was also well prepared for that. Maybe some of those infrastructure they must have tried to secure during all these days to ensure that during Israeli attack that is not damaged. But now it should be seen what kind of a damage Israeli attack has been able to cause in all these 3 provinces where they say the military infrastructure has been targeted. But one thing is more important. See, if you look at the Iranian attack, it was a ballistic missile attack. Somewhere Israel has rewritten the game of war, because if I am saying
you're right, Pradeep, whether it's revenge of Israel, only time will tell. IDF obviously has issued that statement calling off the strikes for the day. Why do we say so? Because according to Israel, it has conducted its strikes and also said that if somebody threatens them, then they will pay a heavy price.
I can now confirm that we have concluded the Israeli response to Iran's attack against Israel. We conducted targeted and precise strikes on military targets in Iran, thwarting immediate threats to the State of Israel. The Israel Defense Forces has fulfilled its mission. If the regime in Iran were to make the mistake of beginning a new round of escalation, we will be obligated to respond. Our message is clear. All those who threaten the State of Israel and seek to drag the region into wider escalation will pay a heavy price. We demonstrated today that we have both the capability and the resolve to act decisively, and we are prepared on offense and defense to defend the state of Israel and the people of Israel.
All right, Major General G.D. Bakshi on the phone line with us. Afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining us on Times Now. What do you have to say, sir, about the developments, and the updates which are coming in as far as the tension between Israel and Iran are concerned? Iran basically now saying and warning Israel with a retaliatory and prompt action. Israel also saying that they are ready for an offensive and defensive action.
Absolutely. This is exactly what most military analysts had predicted. We had done a war game on this, and we had concluded that with the American presidential election so close, the United States had put a lot of pressure, and that is what delayed the Israeli response. Otherwise, we were thinking that they would retaliate immediately, but they have taken over 2 weeks to respond, precisely because of this ongoing push and pull between United States and Israel on what targets to strike. The United States ruled out nuclear targets, ruled out petrochemical targets as too escalatory, inflammatory, and therefore Israel has had to confine its air attack. About 100 plane strike packages that we were anticipating, and it has hit, as they say, only military targets. We are waiting for some kind of bomb damage assessment to come out either from Israel or from Iran, and the next round can then be anticipated only after seeing what has been the level of damage inflicted. So I would reckon that the Israelis have used their standoff cruise missiles to attack the Iranian targets.
Wait, and what really happens next? But thank you for joining us with your views on this big international